So this one is the second session on the examples of a beta and gamma. So last session we completed the examples on the gamma function. Now few examples on the beta function will complete today. In both the cases, like in gamma or a beta, the most important thing that you have to find out a proper substitution which converts the integral in the definition of a gamma or the definition of a beta there. So can anyone tell me what is the definition? What is the definition of a beta first? Algebraic definition. Definition we have for beta function. Quick.
Sir, limit 0 to 1
Correct.
x to the power m minus 1 into 1 minus x whole power n minus 1.
Yes, correct, Adarsh. Yeah. This is the definition for beta mn. Okay. Now you should observe the integral, given integral and the definition. Yes, the limits are 0 to 1. Both are in algebraic form. So this integral can be solved by a beta function. Only the thing is we should find out that proper substitution. Okay, and that substitution is generally you will get from the bracket. So you have to, this bracket we should get in the given integral. So what should be the replacement so that we can evaluate this integral by a beta here? Yes, anyone? Let tell me the substitution.
Root x is equal to t.
Correct. So this root x is a t. Then only this bracket will be replaced as 1 minus t raised to 5. That is in this form, 1 minus t raised to 5. So always that substitution comes from that bracket majority of the times. So if root x is a t, we get x as a t square and we get value of a dx as a 2t dt. So we obtained all the terms that we require to substitute in the integral. The limits will not change. You will observe when x is a 0, t is a 0. When x is 1, t is also 1. So the given integral, therefore this given integral I will become in terms of a t like this, 0 to 1, the limit same. The value of x we already observed, it is a t square. So it is a t square raised to 3. This will be 1 minus t raised to 5, and the value of a dx is 2t dt. Okay. Now 2 is a constant, can be taken outside the integral sign. What will be the power of t now? Yes, simplified power.
5.
T raised to
5.
5 is not the correct.
6.
How 6? 6 is also not correct. Yes, quick. What is a complete?
Once.
It's a 7, is it? This is a t raised to 2 raised to 3 is a t raised to 6 into t raised to 1. And it gives us 1 minus t raised to 5 dt. Up to here, yes, just we simplified. Now can we write the value of this integral by the definition? What should be that value? Yes. What should be the value of the integral in a beta? I'm not getting any answer. Yes, just compare with the definition here. You have two things. Here is a definition. Beta mn is integral 0 to 1 x raised to m minus 1 1 minus x raised to n minus 1 dx. Then integral 0 to 1 t raised to 7 1 minus t raised to 5 dt can be written in a beta. So what should be the answer? Yes.
Sir, beta 8 comma 6.
So yes, that's one correct. So why that much of time taken? I don't know. It is so simple. Just you have to add 1 to the power of t and power of 1 minus t. You'll get in beta. Now this will be our final answer, provided this question is for the 2 mark. So whenever the question will come for 2 mark, you can keep that as answer. But by chance, same question, if come it for 5 marks, it is expected that your answer should be in a simplified form, that is in number. Remember, the beta value is not directly we can get it. We have to convert beta to the gamma, and then we can evaluate that beta function. So we have a relation between beta and a gamma. Anyone knows that relation? What is a beta mn? Beta mn is in terms of a gamma.
Gamma m.
Yes, correct, Kavesh. Gamma m into
Into
Gamma
gamma
n.
into gamma n upon
yes,
gamma m
m
plus n.
plus n.
correct. Now what is m plus n in this case?
M plus n. 8 and 6.
14. Okay.
14.
Now next step. What is the gamma 8?
Sir, 7 factorial.
Correct.
7
It's a
factorial.
7 factorial. Gamma 6 is a 5
5
factorial.
factorial.
And this is a
13 factorial.
correct. Good. Out of this, this 13 factorial can be written as 7 factorial into 8 into 9 into 10 into 11 into 13. So 7 factorial will get cancelled. 7 factorial will get cancelled, and we left with 2 into 5 factorial divided by that number. Now that number is obviously 13 into 12,
Into 12, into 11, into 9, into 8.
10. Okay, 10 first. Sorry, 10 into 9 into 8, and that into 7 factorial. The 7 factorial already got cancelled. Now next step, yes, you have to simplify this. Yes, you can do the calculation your own, or you can do this calculation on a calculator, because calculators are allowed in the exam. So you can keep a calculator with you. So calculator will give you the answer in a fraction like 1 upon 5148. So 1 upon 5148 is the final answer. Or if you write the answer in decimal, that is also correct. You can write the answer like point not 36, something like that, whatever the sim. You can use a calculator. So your answer can be in a fraction, can be in a decimal. Both way it is correct. So better to use a calculator to simplify this. Okay. So that is the end of the question then. So important part is a correct substitution. The most important part is this one. You have to start with proper substitution. Once you get that substitution, yes, you have to compare it to the definition and convert it in beta or gamma, and you can evaluate it. That's one. So any doubt?
No, sir.
No. Can we move to the next question then, if you've done this?
1
Yes, sure.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Understood. Good. So just I will wait for 1 minute to finish, and then I will move to the next slide.
done. Sir.
Done. Okay. So next question is on the screen now. Integration 0 to 1 x raised to m into 1 minus x raised to n raised to p. We have to express this integral in a gamma. Now if you see the integral is algebraic. Limits are 0 to 1. Obviously this integral is not the directly of the gamma form. So we have to convert first in a beta, and then we can use a relation between beta to the gamma to write that integral in a gamma form. So can you tell me the first step? What should be the substitution? Yes. What should be the substitution?
1 minus x raised to
No.
Sir, x to the power n is equal to t.
Correct. X raised to n is equal to t should be the substitution which converts this bracket in the form of 1 minus t raised to p. So that is the first thing that so if that is the value of x raised to n, so x become t raised to 1 by n, x become t raised to 1 by n. Then the value of a dx will become 1 by n t raised to 1 by n minus 1. Is it okay? So what about the integral I then? Limits remain same. There is no change in the limit. So the integral I becomes 0 to 1. The value of x is a t raised to 1 by n.
dt.
Yes, dt. Yeah, correct. I missed that dt. Correct. So I'll write it. No worry. So this is a so this dt is left here. Yeah, correct. So this is the value of x we replace. Here is a 1 minus t raised to p, and the value of a dx is 1 by n t raised to 1 by n minus 1 dt. Okay. Now 1 by n is a constant. This 1 by n is a constant, can be taken outside the integral sign. Now I want a simplified power of a t. Yes. Anyone? What should be the power of t?
One minus n plus m upon n.
Correct. So this is a, yeah, correct. Yeah, this is m by n and this is 1 by n minus 1. So complete power is m plus 1 upon n minus 1. I hope that is a simplified power of a t there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me the value of this integral. Can you see something? Is it in a standard form of a beta? Beta of?
Yes, sir. No, no, sir. No, no,
No, this
no.
is in beta, na? So this is x raised to m
Sir,
minus 1. Instead of m minus 1 is m plus 1 upon n minus 1 is there. So this is a beta m.
okay, sir. There will take p plus 1.
Correct, p plus 1. Good.
Oh, okay, okay.
So that's the beta. That is a, so we got the value of integral in a beta, but the question is express this in a gamma. So we'll use the relation between beta and a gamma, and we'll write this beta function as a gamma m into gamma n upon gamma m plus n. This is the final answer here we have. So here in the answer also, this gamma should be from beginning to the end. So that is missed there. So this is the final answer, and we cannot simplify further, or this will be only the answer. The reason is this m, n, and p. These are unknown numbers for us, so we have to keep like this only. Okay. If it is in particular, we have the values of m, n, and p. We can evaluate that gamma, and we can get the final answer in just a number. That is the end of the question here. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No doubts. Okay. So complete it and tell me so that we can move to the next then. Done? Okay, good. Third question, integration 0 to 1 by 2 x cube into root of 1 minus 4x square dx. The most important thing is a standard substitution that you have to find out, or the proper substitution. Yes, anyone? Look to the bracket.
X square equal to t.
No, not correct.
1 minus 4x square is equals to.
No, that is also not correct.
4x square is equal to t.
That is correct one. 4x square should be t, so that this term goes as 1 minus t raised to half. So this is 1 minus x raised to n minus 1 form there. Okay, that way. So 4x square should be a t. If 4x square is a t, you can observe that 2x is t raised to 1 by 2. So the value of x is 1 by 2 t raised to half, and the value of dx is 1 by 4 t raised to minus half dt. Not only this, we have to find the new limits also, because in this case the limit will not same. When x is a 0, from this expression 4x square equal to t only, when x is 0, you'll observe t is a 0. And when x is 1 by 2, what about t?
Sir, 1.
Yes,
1.
t
It
is
will
1,
become
and
1.
that is required. That only we want here, correct? So the integral becomes now, the given integral I becomes, it's a 0 to 1 now. The value of x cube, first x is here 1 by 2 t raised to half, this is the x cube. Then this become 1 minus t raised to half, and the value of a dx is 1 by 4 t raised to minus half dt. In this, yes, obviously that constants we have to take it out. Can anyone tell me what should be a constant term which is outside the integral?
1 by 4.
Sir, 1
1
by
by
8.
32.
1 by 32 is a correct answer, because 2 raised to 3 is 8, 8 fours are 32.
Yes, sir.
So 1 by 32 is a correct one. And limits 0 to 1. This is now power of t. What should be the power of t?
3 by 2.
It is a 3
3
by
Sir,
by
1.
2
minus half.
minus 1 by 2.
3 by 2 minus 1 by 2 is just 1. Okay.
1.
Yes,
1.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it is t into root 1 minus t.
1 minus t root. Correct. That's one. So that about the replacement. And what is the value of this integral now?
Sir, beta 2 comma 3 by 2.
Yes, beta 2
comma
comma 3 by 2. Good. That's one. So that is the end of the question. Provided this question for the 2 mark, we can write the answer in a beta form only whenever the question comes for 2 mark, remember. But if it is for 5 marks, we have to simplify this further, and we have to find out the final answer in the number only. Yes, one question I got here on the chat, that when to change the limit. You have to check the limit every time. It's not like that this question only we are checking. Here only the limits are changing, so because of that we are written here. Okay, in this case, just I will show you here. In this case, you replace x. See, what are the limits for x? X limits are 0 to half, is it? So when x is a 0, t is a 0. When x is a half, t is a 1. So the limits are written 0 to 1. Suppose I replace x square equal to t only. Suppose x square is t. So what happens? In that, suppose limits of x are 0 to 1, like previous example. So when x is a 0, t is 0. When x is 1, t is 1, provided limits of x are 0 to 1. So that time there is no need to write this, because the limits remain same. So if you have the problem when to change the limit, you write it every time. Write it every time. What is happening on the limit? What is happening with the limit, that you can write it in every example. Like previous examples also. That time you will come to know that limits remains same there. Is it clear? So that way you have to look for the limits. So your focus should be always on the limits. Good. Okay. Now, suppose this question is of 5 marks. We have to go further here. We have to convert beta to the gamma. So this 1 by 32 will be as it is. This is a beta 2 is converted as gamma 2 into gamma 3 by 2 upon gamma 2 plus 3 by 2. Yes, anyone?
7 by 2.
Correct. Gamma 7 by 2. Now there is one rule that we can use it for a fraction. Whenever n is a fraction, what is the formula that we use for gamma? Can I write gamma 7 by 2 as a 5 by 2 factorial? No, we can't, because gamma this factorial doesn't exist for a fraction. So whenever it is n is a fraction, gamma n plus 1 is written as, yes, anyone? Where that formula? Gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n, is it? So this gamma 7 by 2 is written as gamma 5 by 2 plus 1, and this is can be written as a 5 by 2 gamma 5 by 2. Is it okay? But that gamma 5 by 2 again can be written as a 3 by 2 plus 1. So it can be written as a 3 by 2 gamma 3 by 2. So I can write this as 5 by 2, something is 3 by 2 gamma 3 by 2. So that way what happens, this integral becomes 1 by 32. Gamma 2 is a 1 factorial. This is a gamma 3 by 2 as it is. And this denominator becomes 5 by 2 into 3 by 2 into gamma 3 by 2. In this gamma 3 by 2 gets cancelled. Actually, gamma 3 by 2 also can be simplified, and that can be written as 1 by 2 gamma 1 by 2, which is 1 by 2 root pi, but it cancels at the end, so no need to replace that values. Remaining is just a number that you can simplify with a calculator. Use a calculator and get this answer. The last step, you get 1 upon 120 as an answer as a fraction, or you can write it in the decimal also. Any doubt? Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
No. So write it, note down, and tell me, so that we'll move to the next then.
Sir, please explain once more that how did we break down that gamma 7 by 2?
Gamma 7 by 2 is a, see, whenever n is a fraction, we have this formula. What is the formula? The formula is this one, gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. Okay, this is the formula we use for n as a fraction. So gamma 7 by 2 is written as a 5 by 2 plus 1. Is it? Now gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. Got it? Then again that 5 by 2 is written as a 3 by 2 plus 1. So it is a 3 by 2 gamma. I hope you are getting now.
Yeah, sir, got it.
Okay, so this can be used for any fraction, gamma n plus 1 as n gamma n. So whether you completed this, can we move to the Second last example then. There are two more examples up to this. Yes, Suraj, I think not. Sujal says completed. Good. So I'll move to the next question then. I hope everyone completed. Okay,
Yes, sir, done.
done. Good. So here is a second last example. Integral 0 to pi by 2 dx upon root sine x into integral 0 to pi by 2 root sine x dx. What can be done here? Yes, I think Rana gives us t equal to sine x. No, not correct. Okay, you can go that way also, Rana. You
Root
can put t equal to
sin x
sine
is
x,
equals
but
to t.
it goes in first form. Why to convert in the first form? We have both the forms available. We have both trigonometric and algebraic form of a beta. So whenever the integrals are in terms of sine and cosine, remember this is one important thing. Whenever we have the integral like this 0 to pi by 2, 0 to pi by 2,
Sir,
sine
we
raised
can
to
use 2 sine power 2 m minus 1 theta
correct,
cos.
correct. Just 1 minute, I will tell one thing here. So whenever we come across this type of integral 0 to pi by 2 sine raised to mx into cos raised to nx dx, provided both m and n are integer, both m and n integer, use Wallis formula. Wallis formula, we can use it provided both m and n are integer. Okay, if they are integer, then only we can use this Wallis formula. But remember, we can use this beta formula for both integer as well as a fraction. So generally for m and n fraction, m and n are fraction, then this beta formula is useful. Beta formula is useful provided m or n is a fraction. Either m or n is a fraction. Because Wallis formula fails. Wallis formula fails when the power of sine or cosine is a fraction there. So let me see this question. In this question that we have the limits 0 to pi by 2 and sine and cosine have the fraction power. So given, I will write LHS. That LHS I will write in this form 0 to pi by 2. I will write the power of sine as minus 1 by 2. But there is no cosine term. So can I write like cos raised to 0? Similarly, the second integral, we can write it like 0 to pi by 2 sine raised to 1 by 2x into cos raised to 0x. I hope there is no doubt in the step number 1. Now we'll use that formula. Yes, anyone recall that formula? What is the trigonometric form of a beta? Which formula we use to evaluate a trigonometric result?
The
2
2
sine 2m
sine
minus
power
1
m
theta.
minus
Okay, so
2m
many of
minus.
you are giving me 2 times, but instead of that, I will use this formula integral 0 to pi by
0 to
2
pi. Yes, sir.
sine raised to p theta into cos raised to q theta d theta, and this is the result that is better to use 1 by 2 beta
P plus 1 by 2
q
q
plus
plus
1
1 by
upon
2.
2. Good. So this is the formula. Remember, this is the most important formula that can be used provided this p or q is a fraction. Okay, if it is a fraction, then only better to do it by beta. Otherwise, Wallis formula is a simple that gives you the answer in one step there. Okay, so we'll move with this formula and continue. So the LHS will become, this LHS will become, yes, what is the value of the first integral then with this formula? 1 by 2 beta of, yes. What will be p plus 1 upon 2?
1 by 2 upon
1
2.
by 4.
1 by 4 is a correct answer. And what will be q plus 1 upon 2?
1 by 4.
1
by
by 2
2.
only. That's one. This is the value of first integral. Now the value of a second integral. Yes, what is the beta now?
3/4.
3/4 is the correct answer, and 1/2. So we have to simplify this. So this 1/2 and that 1/2, I will write it as a 1/4 completely out. This we convert from beta to the gamma. So this is a gamma 1/4, gamma 1/2 upon gamma. What is 1/4 plus 1/2?
3/4.
3/4.
Correct. This is gamma 3/4 into gamma 1/2. And what is a 3/4 plus 1/2?
Sir, gamma 3/4 gets cancelled.
Yes, correct. Gamma 3/4
And
gets cancelled. That is the first thing. Gamma 3/4 gets cancelled. Good. What is any other simplification?
sir, we can write 5/4 as 1 plus 1/4.
Correct, correct. And then
Then gamma 1/4 gets cancelled.
yes, this gamma 5/4 gets cancelled with 1/4 gamma 1/4. The reason is this gamma 5/4 is written as gamma 1/4 plus 1, and that is 1/4 gamma 1/4.
1/4 dot 1 by.
So that gets cancelled. That gets cancelled. Correct. And what is the value of gamma half?
Root pi.
5.
And
Root
pi.
Root pi.
Root pi.
Correct. So just we replace now. Only we'll have gamma half into gamma half. So the next step, the required answer, so is
Pi.
equal to pi only. That's
5.
all. That's the end of question here. So important part. In limits 0 to pi/2 and sine and cosine, sine or cosine have a fractional power, better to go for a beta, a trigonometric form of a beta there.
Done. Sir.
Done? Okay, good. So here is a last question then. Last question on beta. I will give this example for a practice to yourself only. Only I will give the hint to solve it. Just a minute. The question is on the screen. I want a hint from your side only. How you will do this question? Can anyone tell me? Yes, anyone? Question is prove that. So limits 0 to 1 indicate this example is not on gamma obviously, because for gamma we want 0 to infinity, and again that exponential term should present there. So how to get the examples on a gamma? For examples of gamma, there should be e raised to ax term, or there should be a raised to x term, or there should be log x term. So if one of that term present there, you can solve that by gamma. Here only algebraic terms present. So this indicates this example is on beta. If we want to solve
So
it by
we can
beta,
use the trigonometric substitution.
yes, you can go by trigonometric
X
form.
square is equals to cos theta.
Good. Okay, that is one of that. But x square equal to cos theta for both the integral, is it? Or one
So,
of that?
so cos 2 theta also can work.
Cos 2 theta will uh, mainly you have to consider these two integrals separate. So I will give hint.
Yes, sir.
The first I will say
So
I1.
for first we can use cos theta. I think.
Correct. For first integral, this one I will say this is I1, and this integral I will consider it as I2. So for I1, x square equal to, you can put sine or cosine, both are same. X square is a sine theta. So if x square is sine theta, this become 1 minus sine square theta. Okay, that become a cos. You can come to that. Okay, so this is the first substitution that you can use for I1, and for I2, I will say this as I2 here.
So just wait for a second, sir.
No, I'm saying this you have to do it as homework, not right now. Okay, you take it and take it as a homework yourself. So that about I1. What about I2? Yes, anyone?
Sine square.
X square equal to
Cos
just tan theta.
and
So this become 1 plus tan square theta. 1 plus tan square theta is a sec square theta. But
x square
remember,
theta.
in the second case, the limits may not be a standard limit. Your limit goes from 0 to pi by 4 there. Okay. If it goes 0 to pi by 4 later on, this integral will convert to the sine 2 theta form. Okay, sine 2 theta form, like root of sine 2 theta, something you will get. Then you put 2 theta equal to t. There is one more substitution you have to do it. 2 theta equal to t, which gives you the limit 0 to pi by 2. Okay, and then only you can use a beta. So here also you have to get the beta, and here also you will get a beta, and then simplify it and you will get this required answer. So that about a hint I given. Okay, do that as a practice, because chances of coming this question is a very rare, because this is lengthy example. Because this single example cannot be asked for 5 marks also, because okay, that can be, it may come, but I said that last 5 to 10 years this question is never asked in the exam. So it is just for your practice only. You have to deal with the substitutions mainly and come to the required answer there. Okay, now I'm going to show you question paper pattern. This question paper pattern for is a new question paper pattern for 2021 batch. So first of all, this question paper pattern is the same for both marine and nautical side. Okay, marine and nautical side, and this is for all subjects. Near about all subjects will have the same question paper pattern. The question paper is divided in two sections. First section is part A, which is compulsory part. There is each and every question is compulsory. Okay, and that section, the part A section, is of 20 marks. This is of 20 marks, and 50 marks is other section which have some options available to you. Let me come to the first part first. Entire paper is of 70 marks. 35 marks, minimum 35 marks you should have to pass the subject. Remember, external passing is a separate. That means in internal there is 30 marks internal. Even though you get 30 out of 30 in internal, then also you should get 35 marks, minimum 35 marks out of that 70. Then only you will pass this subject. Okay, so question number 1 is a MCQ, that is multiple choice questions. Okay, that there will be a 10 bits, each bit of 1 mark there. To prepare MCQs, you should focus mainly on definitions and the properties. Okay, definition and properties you should focus. Then only you can able to solve the example on MCQs. Like you may have the question like this: beta function exists for, or beta function does not exist for, and you have the option positive integer, negative integer, positive fraction, negative fraction. So obviously, what should be your answer?
Negative integers.
No, yes, negative integer, correct, you are correct. So beta function does not exist for negative integer. That is the correct option. So that way, this is one of the, or you may have the question like the value of gamma 8, the value of a gamma 8, and you will have the 4 answers there. Okay. So you should able to get that with within a few seconds there, because these questions of 1 mark, probably I'm saying it may happen, it may be the case that your section 1 or this multiple choice question you have to complete in first 20 or 30 minutes. Okay, once you complete that MCQs, then only the other questions are visible to you. That may happen at the time of exam because it's online mode. You have to click the correct option and you have to submit it. Once you submit the section A, then you move to the section B. That way may be there. Okay, so you will get a clear information about all these things before exam also. So right now this is about MCQ. The pattern will remain like this only. So 10 MCQs will be there. Then 2 marks 5 question. Okay, 2 marks 5 question. That will be a short answer questions. So these questions like the previous examples we seen in beta and gamma, so that type of the questions will come there. And lastly, you have to attempt any 5 questions from the given 7. So from question number 3 to question number 9, from 3 to 9 you have to attempt any 5 question. So here you have the choice. Here you have the choice that if one of the article or one of the topic you face it is a very difficult, that type of the question you can keep it for the option, but it is only for a section B. In section A, that is part A, everything is compulsory, so you do not have any option. So those who are interested to get 100 out of 100, obviously they have to do each and every article. But those who have the target to pass the subject and get just passing marks there, they can keep few of the articles for the option provided they feel it is a difficult. Okay, so that about the question paper pattern. There will be a section A, section B. Mainly in section B you have the options available. Even though I said this section B, this part B is of a 10 mark question, it is not, question 3 is not entirely for 10 marks. I will tell you each question onward, this each question onward, like question 3, question 3A, question 3B, question 4A, question 4B. So this way is our question paper. So each question is divided in 2 sub-bits there, remember. Okay, A, B parts. So that way it is. So generally the question will be for 5
दोनों
marks.
एक ही पार्ट का होगा ना
Pardon?
सर? दोनों ए बी है जो वो एक ही पार्ट का होगा ना, अगर मान लीजिए
Generally that is of same part. Okay. Now, but this time you have the first time your question paper is of a new syllabus. But 99% I will give the assurity that it will be of the same topic. It will be of same topic. Generally, it is considered from same topic. Okay, but by chance, if examiner, paper setter want to set it that way, we can't say anything. But maximum chance will be of the same topic there. Okay. So that about question 3 to 9 there. Now I will show you the syllabus. Already you have the syllabus, I know, but this is the syllabus for NS. 3 topics near about same for both ME and NS. So mainly this integral calculus, differential calculus and matrices. This is the same syllabus for both ME and NS. Only the spherical trigonometry is for NS that they have, and we have in ME. In ME you have this syllabus. This is syllabus for ME side. Calculus, yes. Then this is calculus have the 3 parts: A1, A2, and A3. So this is single variable calculus, multivariable differential calculus, multivariable integral calculus. So that are the 3 calculus part, and then algebra matrices is there. So this matrices is common to both ME and NS there. Okay, which articles from my side I completed, let I tell you, because I want to finish this syllabus. First double integral we completed, triple integral we completed, application of multiple integral we completed, beta and gamma we completed today only. Now the topics that I have to finish before January end. Okay, generally probably I finish my syllabus in the up to first week of February or January end. So I have to finish this vector integral calculus. Okay, then surface and volume of revolution, this is another. Then velocity and acceleration, gradient and divergence. So that is a part of syllabus that I am going to complete it. So only 5 points that I have to finish. So from the next session, I am going to start this vector calculus. I will finish this part first, this one first, and at the end we'll see this surface and volume of revolution. Okay. So this is a simple topic. Remember, vector calculus is one of the simple topic that you have. So we'll start that vector calculus from the next session only. For this topic, there is a prerequisite. Prerequisite is a vector algebra. Okay, vector algebra. This will not come in the exam, but remember this vector algebra which you have as a dot and cross product, vector dot product and vector cross product. So that you have to do it as a prerequisite part. So I will tell you or I will show you here that where to look for that on the TMI LMS. Just I will show you here. So next session is that only. I am going to tell you what you have to do it for the next session, because next session is you have to just complete the prerequisite of this vector calculus only. So go to the preparatory course. Here is a preparatory course that will be on your dashboard also. So when you go to the preparatory course, you will come to this part. Here is a vector. So you can go through these videos also. You can go through the videos, and then you will finish this quiz, this quiz of vector algebra. Remember, this is 38 students already completed. That's not a problem, but yeah, once you complete it, then only I will mark your attendance for this vector algebra part there, means next session there. So here it is allowed up to 31st December. So this quiz, so finish this quiz before 31st December or at the time of next session only. I will put the instruction on WhatsApp also. Okay. So you have to finish this quiz, so that this quiz is only for basic of vector, like magnitude of vector, then dot product and cross product there. Okay, that things. And if you think that you keep this topic for option that time, so what you have to do it, you have to look to these videos. These videos are there. There are 2 videos: vector magnitude and dot cross product, and vector triple product also. That things are there. You can go through that videos there.